Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari Jasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari Jasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari Jasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatiravanachari Jamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Vihari. So I was just at Chirgat and you could see the forest on the bank of the Jamuna. So usually you can't see the forest. The 𝐾𝐝𝐲𝐸𝐴 is all empty land, but at Chirgat there's forest on the other side of the Jamuna. You can see, oh, there Krishna was wandering there. He's still wandering for those I have to see.
Short introduction.
Are you going to translate for me?
Introduction.
Oh, introduction? Oh, okay.
Okay, Hare Krishna, it's our great fortune to have His Grace Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu amongst us. He was born on 7th November 1947 in St. Louis, and he was a seeker of this knowledge. So that's why in young age only, he gave up his college and he had composed his own songs. He would sing on the streets in America, and then he came across devotees. He was very inspired. He met Srila Prabhupada in 1971, and that year only in August he got initiated by Srila Prabhupada. He has been spreading this Krishna consciousness all over the world, travels very extensively. Twice he covers the entire globe in a year, and in 2000 he was awarded by the GBCs as the Guru, ISKCON's Guru. He's a Grahastha, he got married. He was Brahmachari for 14 years, and then he had the opportunity to be a sannyasi, but his GBC wanted him to get married to one of his disciples, that is Her Grace Vishnupriya Mataji, and she could be a very nice traveling companion as well as assistant for his preaching. Then he chose that option, and there onwards he has been preaching very extensively. 2000 onwards, he's a guru also. He has his ultimate self-realization course, the online course in which there are now how many around?
Well, we have considering all the translated version, there's about 30,000 people.
30,000 people all over the world from more than 100 countries. They are connected and they get daily some item, some posted item for them to read, as well as they have hundreds of questions they can ask him and he keeps answering without getting tired. His schedules are very busy. So through online only. So he's also called as e-guru. So that he covers all the people all over the world, because Prabhupada was very inspired, very happy to see his enthusiasm in preaching. So Srila Prabhupada blessed him that you spread this all over the world. So
Prabhupada answered all my letters, so I answered all the letters.
Okay, so Prabhupada answered his letters, so he also likes to answer all the letters that people sent him. So let's welcome Prabhu to our temple by once loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Grace Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
So can do Hindi or English only? No translation, English only? Huh?
Those who wish to hear, for them below it is going.
Will it be a translation or English?
It is going on FM. They are hearing.
English. I can just go English straight. Okay. So I was mentioning at the beginning, I was just at Chirgat, and it was so amazing to see on the other side of the Jamuna, the forest right there by the water. This thing about Krishna was actually wandering there in those forests. Jamuna Chira Vanachari, you see. So Prabhupada said this Jai Radhamana is a vendor of the spiritual world. So we shouldn't just chant it, mechanically. We should understand, try to get into the meaning of this song. Brajajana Ramjana, you see. One who gives delight to the Brajavasis, you see. The Brajavasis delight him, and he delights the Brajavasis. It goes back and forth. So it's very important that we get in, try to dive deep into the meaning of Jai Radha Madhava, so we can really, it's called Braj Ras. We can actually relish the nectar of the Brijabasis, you see. That intimate loving relationship with Krishna. Okay, that being said, today we're going to study from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 10, text 50. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Layasha Sakshan Bhava Padmajaribi. Rapangdeya Vastu Tayo Pavarnitam. Manena Bhaktyo Pashamena Pujitat. Prasedatam Esha Sasatvatang Patihi. Na Yassa Sakshan Bhava Padmajadibhi. Rapangdeya Vastutayo Pavarnitam. Manena Bhaktyo Pashamena Pujita. Prasedatam Esha Sasatvatang Patihi. Na Yasha Sakshan Bhava Padmajadibhi. Rapangdeya Vastutayo Pavarnitam. Manena Bhaktyo Pashamena Pujita. Prasedatam Esha Sasatvatang Pati. Na, not. Yasha, of whom? Sakshat, directly. Bhava, Lord Shiva. Padmaja, Lord Brahma, born from the lotus. Adibi, by them and others also. Rupam, the form. Diya, even my meditation. Vastataya, fundamentally. Upavarnitam, described and perceived. Manena, by samadhi, deep meditation. Bhaktya, by devotional service. Upashamena, by renunciation. Pujita, worshipped. Prasidatam, may he be pleased. Esha, this. Sa, he. Sattvatam, of the great devotees. Pati, the master. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Exalted persons like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma could not properly describe the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. May the Lord, who is always worshipped as the protector of all devotees by great saints and who observe vows of silence, meditation, devotional service, and renunciation, be pleased with us. Purport. The absolute truth is sought by different persons in different ways, yet he remains inconceivable. Nonetheless, devotees like the Pandavas, the Gopis, the cowherd boys, Mother Jasoda, Nanda Maharaj, and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan do not need to practice conventional processes of meditation to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for he remains with them through thick and thin. Therefore, a saint like Narada, understanding the difference between transcendentalists and pure devotees, always prays that the Lord will be pleased with him. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Badakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschanya Deshatarine. So, being exalted is not enough. You may do great penances and austerities, become exalted, even a transcendentalist, you see. There's different levels of transcendentalists, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, you see. So being a transcendentalist is not enough. You have to follow the footsteps of these great devotees mentioned here. The Pandavas, the Gopis, the cowherd boys, Jasoda, Nanda Maharaj, the Brijabasis, you see. We have to learn how to give our hearts and souls to Krishna. I just read an amazing pastime in the Nectar Devotion about Mother Jasoda. How much her heart is absorbed in Krishna. She had the most wonderful motherhood, raising this little boy, sending him to the forest to herd the calves, the cows. The most wonderful Leela she had with Krishna. But then one day, he left. He was gone. But what was left behind is cowherd boy's stick. Can you imagine? She was looking at that stick, and she became like a stick. She was so absorbed with the pain of separation, she became like a stick. Then she prayed to Brahmaji, please, Brahmaji, please, let me see him for just one more minute, please, just one more minute. You see, just imagine the intensity of feeling she had for Krishna. You see. Intensity of feeling, you see. It wasn't some mechanical thing, I gotta elevate myself to the transcendental platform. It's the feelings of love, you see. This is what attracted me to join the movement, actually. I was a young spiritual seeker, associating, we're talking back in the 60s. And I met some brahmacharis. They were trying to cultivate me, right? And what did they say? We have to follow the higher authorities. I went, wow. Like the military, you know. I went, we have to follow the higher authorities. Sorry, I'm not ready for that. But then I met Vishnu Jan Swami, and he said, just give your love to Krishna, you see. That got me, you see. You understand? This is not some mechanical thing like a soldier in the military. Yes, sir. You see? This is give your love to Krishna, you see. That beautiful boy, you see. That amazing person standing there, peacock feather in his head, you see. The amazing, amazing person. It's interesting here, Brahma and Shiva did not properly describe the truth. This is before Brahma had his realization, because we know the Brahma Samhita is there. This is before he had his realization, you see. Brahmaji achieved the highest perfection at one point. He gave us Brahma Samhita, very wonderfully describing the truth of the personality of Godhead. So we can learn a lot from that Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Krishna, who is the Supreme Godhead, the Supreme Controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna, he has an eternal form full of bliss and knowledge. He has no origin, he is the origin, and he is indeed the prime cause of all causes, you see. So let's get back to that personal relationship with Krishna. That's what we're talking about. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas, we can have a direct personal relationship with Krishna. Did you realize you're talking to Krishna when you chant your beads? When you pick up your bead bag and chant, you're actually talking with Krishna. You think you're actually directly associating with Krishna, Radharani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So don't be an impersonalist, taking some mechanical thing, you see. You're directly associating with God Himself and Srimati Radharani, you see. So we have to try to have a melting of the heart, you see. Give your love to Krishna, you see. Bhaktya. What does Krishna say? Patram pushpam palam bhaktya. You see. Offer me a leaf or flower or fruit or bar of love and devotion, and I will accept it. That bhaktya is very essential. You understand this point? Very essential point, you see. That was my first contact with Krishna consciousness. I haven't met the devotees yet, but one evening in December of 1968, one friend of mine said, everybody chant this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. He wasn't even a devotee, but he had been there in the Haight-Ashbury in the Summer of Love when all the hippies were chanting Hare Krishna. That was considered the hippie religion in the famous Summer of Love in Haight-Ashbury in 1967. So all the hippies were chanting Hare Krishna, and they had faith in the power of this mantra. So he had me, one night when there's some danger going on in our neighborhood, he advised me to chant. And I was wondering, what is this? Because I was looking for self-realization, you see. I'd gotten into Maharishi, I'd paid $30 for my secret mantra, ang, 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 ang. It didn't do a damn thing for me. And I enrolled in Paramahamsa Yogananda's self-realization course. He had me staring at a candle in a dark room. It did nothing for me, you see. I burned the lessons. There was no internet in those days. There was a lesson in the mail. I burned all those damn lessons. And Maharishi, I was burned. And then another guru came. He said, I'm God, you're God, I'm God, you're God, and we're all God. And I tried to pull it off. Oh, I'm God? Great. I couldn't pull it off. I tried to be God and I couldn't do it. So, I was burned by all these, everywhere I turned by false gurus, I was burned. You see? They could not even show me the light of day, you see. But then a friend of mine advised me to chant Hare Krishna. I went, wow, what is this? I went to his house the next day. He showed me an article from a famous magazine in the U.S. called the Saturday Evening Post. And there was an article about the Summer of Love on Haight-Ashbury, and they gave the whole mantra. The whole mantra was given. Oh, wow. So I went to a library and checked out a book called the Bhagavad Gita. It wasn't even the Prabhupada's Gita, but this verse was correctly translated. You offer me a love and devotion, a flower, leaf, or water, I'll accept it. So I got a nice picture of Radha Govinda. I was offering my food. Yeah. So I was a college student, to pick out your career, right? Supposed to pick out your career. So my career was to become a holy beggar in India. That was my career choice. Like we see in Vrindavan, they're sitting there with their tilak, their begging bowl. That was my career choice. I'm going to rounce the world, become a holy beggar in India. So on the way to India, I went, wait a minute, I'm trying to deny everything. Deny, 1880, deny. But wait a minute, if I deny everything, then I have to ultimately deny denial also and accept something transcendental. So then I went, all right, spiritual revolution. I have to make a spiritual revolution. So that was my new career choice, make a spiritual revolution. And I went to Haight-Ashbury, and the first people I met were the devotees on the Harinam party. It took me a couple of years because I was trying to do my own way, but then I realized I don't really know what I'm doing here. But Jesus Christ is a pure devotee, a self-realized soul. What is his secret? He said, Father, not my will, but thy will be done. It's the same thing as Sarvanaman. Jesus says, Father, not my will, but thy will be done. So I went, yeah. I got to do what God wants, not what I want to do. So what does God want me to do? I don't know. But I started asking him, Dear God, please guide me how I become your perfect servant. And Krishna heard my prayer. He sent Vishnu Jana Swami to Austin. And this is how you do it. You chant Hare Krishna, you get the japa mala, you give up illicit sex, blah, 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 etc. You see. That's how I got into it, you see. So this process is a really special thing. It's not some sect or some Hindu religion. This is actually the essence of being itself, you see. We are essentially lovers of God. We're actually, you know why we exist? You have any idea why you exist? You know why you exist? Anybody know? Can anybody say why you exist? Why do I exist? Can anybody tell me why you exist? Somebody may have heard my lectures before. To love someone. Huh? You already know from my lectures. Anybody know why you exist? Krishna is the enjoyer of rasa, you see. He enjoys flavors of relationships. So, he enjoys an unlimited variety of relationships, you see. There's like there's 16,108 queens in Dwarka. You have so many gopi girlfriends, so many cowherd boyfriends. Krishna enjoys loving relationships. In fact, the more you have relationships, the more he has relationships, the more he becomes ecstatic. So, Krishna emanates an unlimited variety of living beings from himself for the purpose of enjoying a unique relationship with each and every one of them, you see. In other words, my dear Prabhus and Manajis, you are irreplaceable. You are irreplaceable. You have a certain nature, certain qualities that nobody else has. Nobody. Your personality is totally unique, and Krishna is manifesting you from himself to enjoy a certain rasa, a certain flavor that nobody else can give him. That's why he wants you back. He misses you. He wants you back. But love cannot be forced. I put a gun on you, love me or blow your brains up. Love cannot be forced. Love must be voluntary, you see. So Krishna gives us the choice, love me or leave me. And if we leave, then he does everything he can to get us back, to induce us on our own free will to come back to him. That's why he comes as Lord Chaitanya. That's why he sent Prabhupada here. All these things to induce us to come back to being who we actually are. Jivarasa Rupa Krishna Nityadas. So we are all actually devotees of Krishna. We just forgot, you see. Every one of us has a certain unique rasa relationship, any one of 5 primary rasas. You see, there's unlimited subdivisions within the 5 rasas. Sarupa. But we don't, the Sahajas want to jump, oh yes, I'm sure I'm a gopi. Yeah. No. Don't try to jump rasas, to jump to some, don't try to imagine. The key is just become a totally sold-out servant of Guru and Krishna. You see, take the order of the spiritual master as your very life and soul. That's how you become spiritually awakened, not by imagining you have some rasa with Krishna. You see, no. That will spoil you on your path if you try to think, I'm sure I'm a gopi. Oh yeah, definitely a gopi. Just like we were there at Nandagram, one man was dressed up as a gopi, playing the drum, dressed up as a gopi. No, we don't try to imagine, oh, I'm sure a gopi, yeah. No. Actually, the gopis think their rasa is not the best. Do you know that? The gopis think my rasa is not the best rasa. They think Shanta rasa is better than gopi bhav. The flute is in Shanta rasa. The flute is better off because the flute gets Krishna's lips more than I do. You see? So it's not that everybody... There's total freedom in the spiritual world. You can be whatever you want to be, but everyone has a certain natural inclination to be this or that in Krishna's pastimes. So just become the totally sold-out servant of Guru and Krishna. That's the key. So Prabhupada has blessed us with this knowledge. Just think of what Prabhupada went through to write these books. Just think of what he went through. He was sick. He had so many difficulties. He had heart attacks. He was management problems, writing all the letters, so many things, but he hardly slept at all, and he'd finished writing these books, you see. So every single word, Prabhupada's mercy is available in every single word of these books, you see. You can directly associate with Prabhupada right here, right now, just by reading what he says, you see. Prabhupada told us, I was there in Atlanta with Prabhupada in 1975, and he told us that the 2 presences of the spiritual master, Vani and Vapu. Vapu is a physical body. It's sometimes there, sometimes it's not there. But the most important presence of the spiritual master is Vani. You see? So you can just open up Prabhupada's books, you see. You can directly associate with Prabhupada just by his books, you see. And that's why we distribute books. So the whole world can get a Prabhupada Sangha, you see. Because Prabhupada Sangha can actually deliver the whole world, you see. Prabhupada has the potency to deliver every single living entity in the whole material existence back to home, back to Godhead. That's why we're going to bring everybody in contact with Srila Prabhupada. Through Prashadam, through Kirtan, through the books, through the deity worship, all these wonderful things. So we now make a look a little bit here at go a little deeper into Prabhupada Sangha here. The absolute truth is sought by different persons in different ways. I'm trying to remember that sloka. See if I can remember it. My Sanskrit isn't that great, but I'll try. Pantastakati sampagam yovaya ratapi manaso muni bungavanam sopiyastayat papachinya vichatatadve govindabari parusham tamamajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the meditators of whom are meditating. No, that's a different one. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord. Only the tip of the toe is lotus feet is approached by yogis who aspire after the transcendental betake themselves of pranayama, building the respiration. Remember the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years. So the yogis and the jnanis they're trying to be transcendentalists, you see. But Mother Brahmas is thousands and millions of years, you see. They go on for thousands of millions of years. Just think about Brahman realization, for example, you see. It's called transcendental, but how transcendental is it? I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody wants to come to India, not an Indian, but say somebody from America wants to come to India, and they don't have a visa. They can get on the airplane, if they let them on, and they can land in Delhi, and he's in India, right? But he can't go clear customs. He has to go back, you see. He's actually physically in India, but he's not in India, you see. So the impersonalists, they can actually enter the spiritual world, not really enter the spiritual world, you see. That's why Brahmaji is only the tip of the toe. They get the tip, but they don't really get the whole thing. So they're transcendently situated, but they're not really transcendently situated ultimately. Because the patanti and ho, they fall back to material existence. So that's why we're not interested in these transcendentalists who go after the transcendental by their yoga, by their jnana. You're not interested in this stuff. It's a royal waste of time, you see. So sadly, one of my disciples in Mumbai, he was attracted by Mayavadi philosophy. He went back to being a Mayavadi again. It's shocking. After getting this transcendental nectar from Prabhupada, he must have become a Mayavadi, you see. So they're very expert in word jugglery, you see. I know somehow I'm the email list of some so-called psychologist who presents Mayavadi philosophy on the internet with all kinds of, pictures of a sunrise, and it's word jugglery, you see. They say everything is one. But if everything is one, then why some people have their so-called realization of monism and some don't? That's a duality. So this idea that everything is one is a complete lie, actually. If everything is one, then everybody be Brahman realized. You see, you have people Brahman realized, and if you're not Brahman realized, that's duality right there, you see. So the side that everything is one is completely bogus philosophy. And when I speak of voidism, if I say nothing exists, then that concept doesn't exist either, you see. So we shouldn't be misled by the impressionists and the voidists. It's complete garbage. Only a fool. It's just word juggling, it all really is, you see. They're trying to razzle-dazzle us with all their fancy words. Don't be razzle-dazzled by the voidists and the impersonalists, you see. Try to understand. Another bogus philosophy I came across, they say Radharani is the number one, and Krishna is expanded from Radharani. So there's all these bogus philosophies going on, you see. We take the Shastra, not word jug. Don't, because somebody can talk very fancy words and, Shastra, Shastra, Shastra. That's the key. Shastra says, Aham Sarvasya Brahmavo, I'm the source of all material and spiritual. What does Radharani say? I'm the source of everything. So how some bogus rascal can say Radharani is the origin and Krishna is expanded from Radharani? I mean, we should not be misled by these bogus rascals. They're cheating. They're trying to attract followers, money, fame, and followers in the name of their so-called bogus philosophy. We should hear from the bona fide spiritual master, one who knows things actually as they are, and become enlightened and blessed by the Sangha of the bona fide spiritual master. This is what we learned from Prabhupada, you see. And I remember I was reading about the early days at 26 Second Avenue. Can you imagine how fortunate those boys were? Can you imagine being at 26 Second Avenue? It was just Swamiji in a little storefront, and that was it. And a little tiny storefront, maybe as big as, this big. A little tiny storefront, and there's Swamiji, you see, with this pair of kartals, you see. And he's talking about different things. But one of the boys, one of those hippies, said, what impressed me was he doesn't give his own ideas. You see, he doesn't give his own ideas. He presents what in the scriptures, you see. So that convinced him. This person is not just word jugglery, he's repeating what's in the scriptures. So this is the key, you see. Sampradaya Vahiname Mantraste Nishpalamata. The bona fide spiritual master doesn't give his own ideas. He presents what's there in the scriptures, what's given down by the previous acharyas. He doesn't invent anything new. We don't need to invent everything new. Everything is there in the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic scriptures. It's all there, but we don't invent anything new. You invent something new, you're in the wrong place. If you want to invent something new, go start your own movement. This is not the place for inventing something new, you see. We have something better than something any one of us can invent. We have Shastra. We have the previous acharyas presenting the truth as it is, you see. Not as I like it to be, or as you would like it to be. The absolute truth as it is, you see. So let's hear carefully from the bona fide spiritual master. Let us take his words seriously, take his orders as our very life and soul, and then magic happens, you see. We get out of the illusion. We've been caught, you know how long we've been caught up in illusion? Since time immemorial. You know how that long is? How long is time immemorial? 100 years, 1,000 years, a million. Actually, it's incalculable. The one thing we always wonder about, how we can say you're either eternally liberated or eternally conditioned. Many devotees puzzle over that. It seems contradictory. But wait a minute, if I'm eternally, when you go back to God, you're eternally liberated. When you're in the material world, you're eternally conditioned. How is that possible? One may be a little puzzled. How is that possible? Well, it's not difficult to understand. Sorry about that. My body's in the way. Material world is the world of time. The spiritual world is the world of timelessness, you see. So time doesn't exist in the spiritual world. So when you leave the spiritual world, there was no time you left. So that means there was no time you arrived in the material world. That means you've been here forever. It's a little, see, we're totally locked up in a time-space mentality. So it's hard to conceive of that. How can there be such a thing as timelessness? But the spiritual world is time, the world of timelessness. Time doesn't exist there. So when you follow the material world, there was no time you left the spiritual world. When you go back, there was no time you weren't there. See, they've eternally liberated, eternally conditioned, you see. So don't puzzle your head over it. Just go back to Godhead, and everything will be clear, you see. Actually, we all have eternal relations with Krishna in the spiritual world. You know the story of Bimalangala Thakur? Everyone knows Bivamangala Thakur. He was running after a prostitute girlfriend, Chintamani. And we all know the story. Maybe some don't, but it was his father's funeral ceremony, right? And he really wanted to go to his girlfriend and have some sex pleasure. So he told the priest, hurry up, jaldi, 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 hurry up. Finish it up, I want to go to Chintamani. He didn't care about his father's funeral ceremony. He was more interested in having sex pleasure with Chintamani, can you imagine? He was so lusty. Even though he was born in a Brahmin family, a aristocratic family, he'd been carried away by lust. And he was running, and then there was a stormy night, he didn't care, and he got to the river, it was swollen. He grabbed a hold of a corpse to get across the river, so many things. And this girl, she was actually a devotee. Although she said, my dear Bibalam, you're so attracted to this flesh and blood, only if you had that attraction with Krishna, your life become perfect. So he went, wow. So he said, yes, I will now go to Vrindavan, now become Krishna conscious. But along the way, he saw a beautiful woman, and he started following her back home. And he didn't become carried away by lust. He arrived at the house, the husband said, oh, here's an aristocratic Brahmin, how can I please you? I said, I want to enjoy with your wife. He said, yes, my dear wife, make yourself very beautiful. He wants to hug you, he wants to kiss you. Make yourself very beautiful so he can enjoy with you. The wife was very submissive. She did what her husband said. But then he went to her and he said, my dear mother, Mataji, give me your hairpin. Put out his eyes. So I'll never be carried away by lust ever again. And he somehow got to Vrindavan. He was now blind. And he was there going through penances and austerity. He's trying to engage in Krishna bhakti. There's a blind man in Vrindavan. And he was going hungry, so this little boy came and brought him milk. He said, who are you? Oh, I'm a cowherd boy here in the village. It was Krishna. Krishna came and he said, yes, I will come regularly. And you imagine Krishna was serving him? He went from a lusty woman hunter to become being served by Krishna, you see. And he wrote one book, Mukunda Mala Stotra, which is very much appreciated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so he became a great Vaishnava. Even he was here physically in the spiritual, material world, but he was in the spiritual world also in his original relation with Krishna simultaneously. So just see what's available. Even though we came from very fallen backgrounds, you see, doesn't matter how fallen we may have been. Woman hunters, meat eaters, whatever, onion and garlic lovers, whatever, doesn't matter. Our background, you see. Just become mad after Krishna, that's all. And then Krishna can come, and we can be blessed by his Sangha, you see. That little boy, that village boy, you see. We can be blessed by his Sangha, you see. So we have 10 minutes left for challenges, doubts, questions, whatever, yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you very much for your presence and inspiring class. Prabhuji, my question is that during that time, no, in 60s and all that, there were people who were actually looking out for alternative. Whereas now things have become so comfortable. Now we have got Gen Z and millennials and all those people, and everything is so comfortable. So how the masses of people will actually come to this step?
Why were they looking for something else? Those hippies? That was your question?
Yeah, so
yeah.
That time they were looking
Prabhupada said that was Krishna's special arrangement to help get my movement started, the hippie movement, you see. It's an amazing thing. America was, powerful, rich, famous place. But there was tens of thousands of youth who said, this is no good, you see. I had that realization also. In fact, my realization began the day that Prabhupada set foot in Boston. The day that Prabhupada set foot in America, my mind flipped. I was wondering, why am I working so hard, to make good grades, to get a good job, to get a good wife, a good house, some good kids, and get a nice grave? You see, it didn't make sense. So there was thousands of youth, boys and girls, rejected this, all the spiritual advancement, looking for something better. And it was a whole amazing movement, the hippie movement, an amazing movement. We were looking for something better. We used to call ourselves the counterculture, and we called our parents the establishment. We reject the establishment, we embrace the counterculture. That was the whole movement, you see. We had our own music, our own philosophy we absorbed, but it included Indian philosophy was very much a part of it, you see, looking to India for the answers. And that's why I went to this guru, that guru. I got cheated by the bogus, but finally I found Prabhupada. It was a special, very special moment in history, the hippie movement. And it's not going on right now, but there's no big, group of youth who are rejecting material civilization, looking for an alternative. It's a special arrangement. And you know what Prabhupada said? He said, actually, you're all Indians in your previous birth. And you took birth in the West to help make my movement started. And it happened to me also. When the first time I came to India, I felt I had come home. So according to what Prabhupada said, we were Indians in our previous birth. We took birth in the West to help Prabhupada get the movement started. So it's interesting to think about it. It's interesting to think about it. And why was that so tragic? Why did I start worshiping Krishna? Why did I have a picture of Krishna offering my food and chanting Hare Krishna out of nowhere? Even before I got Prabhupada's books and met the devotees. I was worshiping Radha and Krishna and offering my food to them. It must have been from the previous lifetime, you see. So Krishna made special arrangement for Prabhupada to help this movement get started. So
So, but probably like in current scenario, this youth and the modern people, they are not so much keen. Even if they come to the temple, they're coming as looking at Krishna as an order supplier. They want something from
Yeah.
Krishna. So
Yeah.
how will the real message, as you said, seeing Krishna and Vrindavan and all that?
How do we get them beyond the order supplier mentality?
Yeah, as in like,
Yeah.
how will the masses of the people will
Well,
translate?
it's really simple, my dear Prabhu. You have to have that mentality yourself, you see. Association is, what is it? One develops sangat sanjayate kama. One develops one's consciousness according to one's association. If you have the mentality of you have actual Krishna bhakti, then by contacting you, it's contagious disease, you see. We ourselves must have that mood of Krishna bhakti, not give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, but how can I give to you, my beloved one? The more our devotees have that genuine mood of wanting to give everything for Krishna, that's some special flavor they can't get from this temple to that temple, this temple to that temple, this temple to that temple. You see, here we can give them something they can't get in any other temple. You see, the mood of giving themselves to Krishna. You see, so it really boils down to us. Be the revolution you want to make. You be that revolution. You see, that's the key. You understand? You be the revolution you want to make. Don't wait for others to do it. You do it. You see? And the amazing thing that one of the most amazing verses in the whole Prabhupada's books, actually he wrote about it twice. Janmantara sahasreshu yashasad buddha idashi dasaham vasam vadadesha sarvalokan samudare. After many, many thousands of births, one realizes he's the eternal servant of Krishna, he can deliver the whole world. And Prabhupada also wrote about it earlier in his days in Vrindavan. He translated it in this way: one can deliver all the living entities in the whole material world back to Godhead. So if you can actually become fully realized in Krishna Bhakti, you have the power to deliver every living entity in the whole material existence. So it's all there. It's in the books. It's in the japa bag. It's in the deity worship. It's all there. You just got to take full advantage of it, and then we can revolutionize the whole world. I'm convinced we can make the whole world Krishna conscious. I'm totally convinced. We just had to get off of this, karma kandiya, order supplier mentality, and then it can happen. We can make the whole world Krishna conscious. Prabhupada said in 18 days we can make the whole world Krishna conscious. You see. So we have to become very, very serious now to flood the world with Prabhupada's books, that shall be the perfect examples of Krishna Bhakti, and then the magic will happen. Magic will happen. Anything else? Now, if anybody has any doubts, I love doubts, by the way. I love your doubts. I got two. There was one here, and then you're next. Prabhu. Was there one here? Okay, then go to this Prabhu over here.
Thank you very much for giving wonderful understanding. Prabhuji, my question is, when I see Prabhupada disciples, they have so much of sense of urgency in spreading and in serving Prabhupada, in expanding the movement, and in carrying forward the mood of Srila Prabhupada. But I feel in my case that I lack the sense of urgency in my own practice and in contributing to what I have received.
So what's your question?
My question is,
how can I get that sense of urgency? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, by hearing from them, by serving them, by reading their books also. There's so many memory books written by Prabhupada's disciples. My program is I read Prabhupada's books in the morning and my godbrothers and godsisters' books in the evening. If you read their books, you can understand what they went through, how they were transformed. Reading their books is a very good way to get that, what they went through, what they feel. It's written in their books. Just like my book is there, also the Divine Love Memoir. Do we have any copies here? I have my book right here, Divine Love Memoir, How I Became Krishna Conscious. So read their books, hear from them, associate with them, serve them, and you can catch that sense of urgency by their Sangha. Yes.
HareKrishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for the class. I do have one doubt. I've heard the statement before that Srila Prabhupada is delivering all living entities in the universe. So how do we understand that, like that he's delivering?
Yes, by his, that's a fact. Prabhupada is delivering everyone, that's a fact. And we can also be agents to assist him in that, you see. Actually, he says, no, my Guru Maharaj is the deliverer. And see, the preacher never takes credit. We give out credit to Prabhupada, and he gives out credit to his Guru Maharaj. He gives out, everyone passes the credit up the line. So what's the question?
Does it mean he's also delivering living entities in lower planets, heavenly planets? He's also
the heavenly, absolutely. The heavenly planets as well. All the Brahma Loka, all the way down. The pure devotee can deliver even the heavenly planets people, yeah, absolutely, yeah. The whole universe, even in all the heavenly planets, yeah, absolutely. Because the heavenly planets is not that heavenly, really. It's Maya Sukaya, even the heavenly. It's much greater pleasure than here, but it's also illusory pleasure. There's no real pleasure in the heavenly planets. It's actually an illusion of pleasure. That answer your question? Okay. Jai, we have about 3 minutes left. 3 minutes of Brahma. All right.
Much, Prabhuji, for Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing your thoughts on this verse and sharing about your personal experience with, you said that statement which deeply went into my heart, that these three people, $30 mantra, and second one, trying to meditate on some candle, and the third one was even more worse. So it was all burning you, and this gurus actually didn't even show you the light of the day, what to speak of the spiritual world.
That's right.
So, and then in course of the discussion you mentioned that you came across different devotees, and the most attractive was Parampuja Vishnu Jana Swami Maharaj.
Yeah, it's his approach that got me.
And he said, just love Krishna. Otherwise, there were other devotees who were also wonderful. But
and I can tell you a little more also. I was a singer-songwriter, right? And George Harrison just come out with My Sweet Lord. So I think I'll be a Krishna conscious singer-songwriter following George's example. But I don't mean one of those brahmachari. No. But then one day, we got an album called the Radha Krishna Temple album, and I heard the London devotees singing Gravastakam. Samsaradava nalalita loka. And I heard the London devotees giving their love to Prabhupada, and that melted my heart. Yes, I'll get initiated now. But I never tasted, Vishnu talked about it, he showed a good example, but it really struck me when I heard the London devotees singing Gravastakam on the Radha Krishna Temple album. Because that gave me the true experience of love when I heard the London devotees singing that song. So, the real thing is the taste, the flavor of the nectarian, the splendorous nectarian experience of giving your love to the pure devotee is unbelievably wondrous experience. You can't get anywhere in even the higher planets. You can't get it anywhere. Does that help a little bit? Okay.
What I wanted to ask was that you said that there were some brahmacharis who were trying to exercise the authority on you, and naturally they were also sincerely trying to love God, but Vishnu Jan Swami Maharaj was loving God. So
their understanding of preaching was kind of neophyte.
Yes.
You see.
So
an advanced preacher helps a lot. A neophyte preacher is sincere, but he doesn't really know, he's not very expert. You see.
In our life, Prabhuji, that we also get attracted to lovers of Krishna, and all others are also trying to love Krishna, but they are trying to exercise some authority, and there is that, like that. So how do we respect them and still, be following lovers of God? No, because everyone is trying to do that.
Actually, a devotee respects even an ant. A devotee respects even a little ant crawling on the floor. This is my little brother. So devotee respects all living beings automatically. What to speak of a neophyte devotee? They're very exalted. Even neophyte devotee is very exalted personality. Most exalted. The neophyte devotee is the most exalted person in the whole universe. You see, because he's chanting Hare Krishna. He's wearing tilak. He's trying to serve. He's taking vows. And such a person is very much respected, even though he may not be so expert in preaching like an advanced devotee. He's also given the greatest respect. Vanchakapatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvyevacha patiranang bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Isn't it? Is it not? Okay,
chanting Hare Krishna is the one of the very advanced person in the whole world. There is no doubt about that. However, I was trying to think when the authorities exercise, then some negativity is there in the heart. Respect is there, like you said, your own experience about them and Vishnujan Swami Maharaj. So, how do we deal with that?
Deal with what?
Some negativity comes. We respect them, offer obeisances, everything.
Yeah, well, it's natural. It's different. There's three different levels of devotees. Those who are less advanced, equally advanced, and more advanced. Those who are less advanced should be kind upon them, help them. Those who are equally advanced, make friends, and those who are more advanced, take shelter and learn from them. So if somebody is less advanced devotee, I should think, how can I, just like I see devotees who are less advanced, how can I be kind upon them, you see? Just like Prabhupada said, no beards, and some devotees are keeping beards, disobeying Prabhupada. So be kind upon them, be merciful to them, maybe someday I'll inspire them to give up their beards, for example, you see. So we should love all the devotees, and always be respectful and kind to all the devotees. And those who are making mistakes, doing something wrong, we should think, how can I have a nice, loving relationship with them to inspire them to become more fixed up properly? Does that help a little bit? Yeah. Devotee is kind, you see. Kindness is one of the qualities of a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is kind. So he feels love for everyone. He doesn't hate anybody. Even if somebody is negative towards him, he replaces negativity with love. He's kind to everyone. He's very tolerant. He offers all respect to everyone without respecting any respect for himself. Isn't it? That's our philosophy. So the more we can put our philosophy into practice, the more we become dear to Krishna. Become dear to Krishna. There's nothing sweeter than becoming dear to Krishna. It's the ultimate experience, becoming dear to Krishna. Like Vivamangala, very dear to Krishna. Krishna would personally bring in the milk every day, you see. He'll let us become dear to Krishna by becoming very tolerant, equipoised, and merciful to everyone, isn't it? Does that help? Or is still doubts? Huh?
They're based on the purport of Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, the purport?
There is one statement where Prabhupada is putting Pandavas along with all the Brajvasis. And they are very exalted, whereas others, like the statement, can you show here?
Yeah, Prabhupada distinguishes between transcendentalists and pure devotees. He's talking about basically the Mayavadis and the Paramatmavadis. They're transcendentalists, but they're not pure devotees, you see. Brahman and Paramatma people, they're not pure devotees, but they're transcendentalists. They're lower level transcendentalists. They're rejecting material sense gratification, but yet they haven't come to the full realization of Krishna consciousness. Anything else? What about the ladies? Let one of the ladies ask a question here. I'm going right over time, but I'll see if I can get away with a little bit over time.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much for a wonderful class. Please accept my humble obeisances as your servant.
Jai, blessings to you, Manaji.
So my question, I have to present one request to you. So if you so desire, could you please share some of your interactions with Srila Prabhupada?
What's she asking? Huh? Relationship? Interaction?
With Srila Prabhupada.
One of my favorite interactions was when I got initiated, I wrote Prabhupada, I sent my Guru Dakshin, it was by mail. He sent a letter from London to Austin, Texas. And I wrote him back with Guru Dakshina, and I sent him, I want to spread this movement. And he wrote me back the most wonderful letter. He said, I can see you're a very sincere, enthusiastic boy, eager to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. He said, now continue enthusiastically as you were doing, and surely Krishna will bless you. So that instruction has kept me going for 54 years. I have this enthusiasm to make the whole world Krishna conscious, you see. I have an enthusiasm to deliver every single limity in the whole material world back to Godhead, you see. So Krishna is blessing me for that. Prabhupada told me Krishna would bless me for this desire to push forward Krishna consciousness. So that's my greatest reciprocation. I have many, but that was the first one, and that includes all of them, actually. And then one little footnote. Prabhupada would get letters, and he'd write letters back, and then he would sign his name, and the typist would type it up. But then in that letter, an amazing thing, and because we're all disciples, the spiritual master is there, but then the amazing thing, when he signed his name, he put a P.S. with his pen. He said, P.S., we're going to Nairobi on Friday night. So I'm not only a disciple, I'm also one of his son, you see. Not only a disciple, I'm his son. P.S., we're going to Nairobi on Friday night. So that's always very dear to me. P.S., we're going to Nairobi on Friday night. Prabhupada told me a little insight about his travel plans. Not only is he my disciple, I'm also his dear son also. So there's a good example. And one more, and that'll be it. We're going over time, but that's it. Okay, this is the last one.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the class. I wanted to ask, there are many instructions from Guru Sadhu Shastra, so we want to follow, but because of the addictions to the pleasures, like 4 regulative principles, we accept it because it's bad. So the mind is also okay with it, fine, we'll not do that. But some instructions, but some pleasures are there, it's very impossible to leave. Like one example you give, some person, like he wanted to keep beard. But then he was so attached to the beard that he was not able to follow Prabhupada's advice that shave off the beard. So there are many instructions like this, which is not violating the 4 regulative principles. So that becomes very difficult to convince the mind that to leave it.
So the thing is, we have a spiritual master and you want to please him. The spiritual master says, do this and don't do that. You just please your spiritual master, that's him. The bottom line is, I want to please my guru. And he says, don't keep a beard. So you don't, because your spiritual master said, don't keep a beard, you don't keep a beard. It's a matter of pleasing. The simple thing is, I always please my spiritual master. That's all. And all boils simple. I always want to please my spiritual master. It's a simple thing. You don't have to worry about this, that, this and that, this and that. Spiritual master, my overriding principle, I always must please my beloved Guru Maharaj. And then that covers everything. One thing only. Please my Guru. Only one thing. Isn't it? And there's no problem. Not to worry about this. There's so many rules and regulations, the nectar devotion also. But I just have to please my spiritual master, that's all. He'll guide me, do this and don't do that. It's a simple thing. There's a saying in English, keep it simple, stupid. All right, we'll go ahead and stop here. I have another class coming up, let's see, tomorrow, 3 to 4:30 p.m. Brahmachari class. It's my next scheduled lecture. So we thank you all for tuning in. Take this process seriously and your lives will be unlimitedly sublime. I absolutely guarantee it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Go to Premanandi. All right. Yeah. The books are here.
Hare Krishna, those who want books can come forward. Prabhu will personally give signature also. And he is here for quite a long time, till 2nd December, in different places. In our satellite centers, he will be visiting. The devotees can take full advantage of Prabhu's association. Thank you. I could not get the last point.
Huh?
PS you said, PS, person's son or what? Some letter.
I was not only his disciple, was also his beloved son.
So how did you get that? It was in the later end. It was.
He said, P.S. We're going to Nairobi on Friday night. It's like I'm an insider.
Okay.
He signed the name, and then when he signed his name, he added something that wasn't dictated by the typist. P.S. was in ink. It said, P.S. We're going to Nairobi on Friday night.
So in Arabian, it means.
P.S. We are going to Nairobi on Friday night. He signed it, and he went, P.S. We're going to Nairobi on Friday night. It's like if I said, gave you a class, said, oh, by the way, this afternoon I'm going to do this. See, that means you're an insider.
Yeah.